This is a summary of my video series on recovery coaching. I hope you get something out of it. Section 1. You are not broken. Let me tell you something I wish someone had told me years ago. Taking your life back isn't one big decision. It's 100 small ones. And the first decision, stop living like the label they gave you is still true. For years, I wore labels I didn't choose. Some were handed to me by other people. Some I slapped on myself because of my past. Addict, screw up, hopeless. I said them so many times, my brain treated them like they were my name, like they were the God's truth. Here's what I didn't understand. Your brain is always listening. So when you call yourself broken, when you say you're weak, when you label yourself by the worst thing you've done, your mind organizes reality to match that statement. So it becomes your reality. And that's the trap that no one tells you about. But here's the good news. If identity loops can be built, they can be broken. You don't need to feel powerful to be powerful. Power comes from alignment. When your spirit and your actions finally agree. That's when the reset starts. You are allowed to walk away from the person you used to be, even if that version feels familiar, even if it scares you to let go. But today, you've got to choose. Not hype, not motivation, alignment, authority, ownership, and discipline. So here's your first act of war. Write down your current identity statement, raw and unfiltered. Then take a black marker and cross it out, because that story's finished. It's retired. Now write your new one. And start like this. Who are you becoming? What are you letting go of? And what power are you reclaiming? As an example, I'm no longer surviving. I am rebuilding. My past shaped me, but it no longer owns me. I am becoming the version of myself that I was meant to be. So let me ask you something. When's the last time you gave yourself a real break? Not a vacation, not a distraction, not a pass to relapse. I mean a break from beating yourself up for every wrong turn you've ever done. If you're watching this right now, maybe you're where I was. Done trying, done believing, but still here. So I need you to hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are not helpless. You are not born weak. You are not diseased. You are not a label. You are not beyond repair. You've been programmed to believe these things by pain, by trauma, by people who couldn't face their own damage. But what's been programmed can be recoded, and today that reprogramming starts. This is the lie they told you. Once an addict, always an addict. It's been whispered in meetings, stamped on documents, carved into your identity. But let's be honest. It's not a fact, it's a curse. And you don't have to agree with it anymore. The truth is, you are not your past. You are not your trauma. You are not the worst thing you've ever done. Driving your life using only the rear view mirror is a guaranteed way to crash. What you believe about yourself, on repeat, becomes your destiny. But beliefs are built from wounds, and what's built can be burned down. So burn this into your brain. I'm not who I was. I don't need to feel strong. I just need to take the next step. I rise every time I fall, because the strength in me is greater than the chains on me. This is the reset. You're not broken, you're rebuilding. You're not powerless. You're dangerous to every lie that everyone tried to use to keep you small. You are not the victim of your story anymore. You are the author. So this is the moment you stop negotiating with the old identity. No more saying, I can't because I'm not, fill in the blank. Say this, I am, therefore I can. Your final charge? Burn the script. Write down the one lie you've believed that's kept you trapped. And ask, who told me this? Now cross it out. Replace it with the truth. Say it out loud, daily, until the lie breaks. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to be done. Because the day you take your life back isn't the day you feel strong. It's the day you stop giving the old you one more damn vote. That day could be today. Section 2. Burn the old life to the ground. Let me ask you something real. How much of your pain are you still carrying? Not because it's yours to carry, but because you've gotten used to the weight. You weren't built to carry all of it, and you sure as hell weren't meant to keep living in it. There's a version of you that was born out of survival. It learned how to hide. It learned how to cope. It learned how to numb out and shut down. But that version of you, it wasn't meant to last. It was temporary. And it sure wasn't meant to lead you into the life that you're trying to build now. This is the lie they told us. They said addiction is a life sentence, that it's incurable, that you'll always be stuck. Once an addict, always an addict. That's a mantra that'll take you to hell. That lie was never the truth. It was just repeated long enough to feel true. Some people cling to it because that's all they've ever known. But I don't. And you don't have to either. This isn't disrespect. This is your prison break. Your personal freedom. I'm not here to shame recovery communities because I've walked through those doors countless times. But I am here to tell you, you are not a permanent victim. You are a temporary survivor who's about to step into victory. Because relapse isn't what you think it is. Relapse isn't just picking up a drink or a needle. Relapse is calling yourself the same name you used to day after day. The name they used to call you day after day. Sliding back into approval chasing and self-neglect. Repeating the habits that destroyed you because they felt safe. Relapse is when you start repeating who you were before you decided to fight back. You're not stuck, you're repeating. And here's the power in that. If you can repeat a pattern, you can rewrite it. You've done it before. You know the way in, which means you know the way out. But you can't rewrite and rehearse at the same time. You can't build your future while you're negotiating with the past. I'll stop, but not all at once. I'll quit using, but I'll keep my connections numb, just in case. I'll move on, but I'm keeping memories because some of the good old days just keep me going. That's not recovery. That's sabotage. And sabotage wearing a recovery badge is how people die. You can't heal what was never meant to be permanent. And some things don't need healing. They need fire. You don't cope with your captive, and you don't negotiate with your trauma. You burn it. This is my moment of scorched earth. There came a day when I looked around and realized I wasn't in recovery. I was in a museum of my own death and destruction. Old playlists that dragged me back into dark moments. Memorabilia soaked in shame. Names and phone numbers that I knew would end in relapse. So I deleted it all. Blocked. Burned. Gone. Not because I felt brave, but because I finally saw the cost of keeping the door cracked. I wasn't trying to move on. I was trying to make damn sure I couldn't ever go back. And remember that comfort is a liar. Most people don't relapse because they're weak. They relapse because they keep comfort too close. Comfort says, just one more time. You've earned it. You're strong now. You can handle it. That's why so many people relapse on their recovery dates. But comfort is a trap. You didn't sign up for comfort. You signed up to get your life back. So take the time to grieve the old you and then bury it. Because that version of you that used, the one that lied, escaped, and was constantly self-destructive, they weren't evil. They were trying to protect you the only way they knew how. But you don't need protection anymore. You're a grown-up. You need purpose. Cry, scream, write a letter, and then bury them. And don't mark the grave, because you don't ever have to go back and revisit. Stop resurrecting the old you. Every time you say, oh, I'll just check their profile. I'll just scroll for a few minutes. I'll just open the door and look. You're resurrecting that version of you that was built in trauma, shaped by fear and held together with shame. It's time to let them die. Let them rest. And let you, the real you, live. Now from ashes to purpose. You don't rise by going back. You rise by going through. And on the other side of that fire, there's a version of you that is not for sale. Not confused. Not afraid. Not begging anyone for approval. And that's who this fire is creating. It's not just destroying, it's purifying. This is your breakup letter. Now, write a burn list. 3 people, places, patterns, or possessions that have to go now. Write this breakup letter to your old self. You helped me survive, but I'm choosing to live for real now. And then do something physical and irreversible in the next 24 hours. You can delete the number. You can burn the shirt with those so-called good memories. You can toss the bottle into the trash. You can block the account that always started the problem. You can make a call. You can tell the truth. You can cut that rope. You don't need permission. You need fire to burn the past down. Here's your final charge. Stop answering to the name that doesn't belong to you anymore. You're not the addict, the screw up, the one who always relapses. That's not your name or identity anymore. Your trauma didn't define you. Your shame doesn't own you. And your old life doesn't get a vote anymore. This is the moment. Burn the old life to the ground. And then stand up. Because this time, you're building it your way. Section 3, warfare starts in the mind. Here's the hard truth. You can rebuild your habits, your body, and your relationships. But if you don't conquer your mind, none of it's going to last. Because the real war was never out there, outside you. The war wasn't the drugs. It wasn't the alcohol, and it wasn't the people who hurt you, no matter how badly they did. The war is what you believe about yourself when nobody's watching. When it's 2 a.m. and your head won't shut up. I know. I spent 36 years in prison. And even in there, I saw people walking free in their minds. And I saw people back on the street, still locked in chains. Why? Because freedom is mental first. If your mind doesn't walk out with you, you never really leave. This is the loop of the lost, the shame spiral. Here's how most people get trapped. You slip or relapse. You feel ashamed. You isolate. You pretend you're okay. You put up another false front. But the pressure builds, and you relapse because you need an escape again. And now you repeat the cycle, all because of one lie. This is who I am. But that is a lie. If you call yourself weak long enough, you'll act weak. If you call yourself broken day after day, your brain will look for ways to prove it. That's not drama, that's neuroplasticity. Your mind literally reshapes itself to match the words you use. Try this right now. Go stand in front of a mirror. Hold your own gaze and say this: I am strong. I am powerful. I am in control. I am a fighter. I refuse to give up. Can't hold eye contact? Feel fake saying it? That's your programming fighting back. And that's good, because discomfort is the signal that something real is happening. Something wrong is being challenged. Revolutions don't start while your face is buried in the mud. They start the moment you lift your head out. Thought loops become strongholds. Every thought you feed becomes a belief. Every belief becomes a decision. And every decision becomes your destiny. The real relapse starts here. Before the bottle, before the hookup, before the lie. It started the moment you thought, I'm always going to be this way. They were right about me, so why even try? You can't outbehave the thoughts you refuse to challenge. So break the mental spiral. Here's the antidote. Notice the lie and name it for what it is, and then replace it with truth again and again until the loop breaks. Now say this out loud right now. That's not who I am anymore. That thought doesn't own me. Here's some tactical reset tools. Thought tracking. Write down every recurring toxic thought for 3 days. You might need an extra pen. Your pattern is the proof. Now you interrupt the pattern and you say it out loud. That's not true. That's not me. I don't serve that voice anymore. And you say it over and over until you believe it. Write your reset statement. 3 thoughts you're replacing with 3 truths. And repeat them 3 times a day just for 5 days straight. And declare it. My mind is my weapon. I don't feed the lie. I don't water what I want to kill. Here's the thought chain. Thought leads to belief, leads to identity, leads to behavior, leads to destiny. And your spiral didn't start with your behavior. It started with what you believe. So if you want different outcomes, you have to change the blueprint. Spot the stronghold. Where do you feel stuck? Replaying your past and calling it humility? Waiting for failure? Joking your pain away? How many comedians commit suicide? Those are mental strongholds. Find them, name them, and break them. Replace the lie with reality. I always screw up becomes I've fallen, but I rise every time. Nobody ever really sees me becomes I'm doing the best I can. I'm no longer begging anyone. Your truth will sound louder than your lie when you start to believe it. Guard your inputs. Ask yourself, am I feeding myself peace or chaos? Am I scrolling for escape, or am I sitting with truth? Do my surroundings elevate me, or do they drain me? What you feed your mind is what it builds with. Junk in, sabotage out. Mental wins equal momentum. So each night write down 1 mental victory, even if it's tiny. I interrupted a shame spiral. That's it. I showed up when I wanted to disappear. I rewrote 1 lie. And stack those wins. They build your next breakthrough. Here's your final charge. Speak this. I'm no longer a prisoner of my thoughts. I release the lies I've been taught. I rise with clarity, courage, and purpose. My mind is a battlefield, and I win it from within. You're not fighting for your peace anymore. You're fighting from it. So let's go. Section 4, reset or repeat. The daily fight to stay alive. This is it. Here's the brutal truth. Not everyone makes it. Not because they couldn't, but because they wouldn't. They had every reason to rise. They had the tools. They had the time. But they chose comfort, or distraction, or escape. They chose drifting over discipline. So let me ask you, if a doctor told you, take 10 pills a day for 10 days and you'll be cured of cancer, would you stop at 9? Of course not. So why do we stop at 9 when it comes to the one thing that could save our life? Discipline. Reset or repeat. That's it. Every day you're doing one or the other. Because there is no pause button. No maintenance mode. It's living. No drifting without consequences. If you don't reset, you will repeat. And when you repeat, you relapse. Even if no substance touches your lips. The dangers of the drift. The most painful relapse isn't the first one. It's the one that happens after you've tasted freedom. When you've been clean. When you've felt peace. When you've glimpsed the future you almost had. And then watch yourself throw it away. You watch it spiral down the toilet. That'll break you faster than addiction ever did. The identity drift is real. You don't fall off the wagon. You drift. You soften your standards. You rationalize just once. You stop calling yourself powerful. You start scrolling instead of resetting. You stop checking in with your values and those who respect your battle. And you don't even realize it's happening until you wake up one day in someone else's skin. Relapse equals repeat. You didn't relapse because of a bad night. You relapsed the moment you started repeating your past. You started calling yourself an addict again, an alcoholic again. You stopped resetting in the morning. You stopped journaling. You stopped guarding your input. You started easing into the old version of yourself. That's what relapse is. Rhythm is your weapon. Motivation is a spark. Rhythm is a system. Rhythm carries you through every dip. Because let's be real, motivation is like lighter fluid. It burns hot and then it burns out. But rhythm survives storms. Rhythm builds empires. Rhythm saves your life. So here's a 24-hour warrior code. This is how you reset your identity every single day. Your morning reset. Before the world pulls at you, before the noise creeps in, before your emotions lie to you, declare your identity. I am not my past. I am a warrior. I fight today with clarity and discipline. These aren't affirmations. They're alignment anchors. They're your truth. You're not waiting to be told who you are. You're deciding in advance who you will be. The midday reset. Midday hits, energy dips, focus fades, triggers rise, and this is your checkpoint. Your moment to ask, am I still aligned with who I said I was this morning? If the answer is no, don't wait. Don't rationalize. Don't bargain with the old you. It's dead. Act immediately. Take a walk. Make a phone call. Drink some water. Write the sentence that you need to realign. Speak your new truth. One action now can equal a full reset. And in the evening, don't just crawl into bed hoping tomorrow magically resets your life. End the day in ownership, not regret. Ask yourself, what did I fight for today? Where did I win? What will I fight for tomorrow? Write down one win or more before bed. Small, quiet, invisible wins count more than anyone will ever know. And don't forget to stack your resets. Don't chase the highs. Do this rhythm for 30 days and everything will shift. Do it for 90 and you won't recognize who you used to be. Recovery isn't just balance, it's rhythm. Balance is fragile, but rhythm is unstoppable. And expect a dip. Yes, you're going to crash. Yes, you're going to question everything. Yes, you'll feel like giving up. That's not failure. That's the process. So when the dip comes, you hold the line with your anchor habits, your identity statements, action over emotion, and ownership over blame. Your life is built on what you repeat. So if you want transformation, build some small wins into non-negotiables. Drink some water, take a cold shower, journal for 5 minutes, pray or just sit in silence. Move for 15 minutes. And don't ask if you feel like it. Act like someone who already won. Survivors blame, warriors own. Survivors say, my past ruined me. Warriors say, my past shaped me, but I drive now. Survivors say, no one supports me. Warriors say, I'll fight alone if I have to, but I will not stop. Survivors say, they're all against me. Warriors say, I'm for me, and that's all that matters. Here's the final question for you. Did I reset today, or did I repeat? If you reset, celebrate. If you repeated, own it, and then reset. You don't need to win forever, you just need to win today. So here's a final challenge. The 7-day reset. For the next 7 days, your morning anchor is to declare your identity out loud. Your midday check-in is to realign if you drift. Your evening reset is to end the day in ownership. Choose one of these warrior statements. I've already decided. The old me doesn't speak today. This ground is mine now. Reset or repeat. I reset. The final line is that discipline is the quiet power. Commitment is the vow, and rhythm is the weapon. Ownership is the key. No more drifting, no more soft exits. You don't belong in chains anymore. Reset. Take your life back. And here's your final charge. The choice, the call, the commitment. And we'll keep it simple. Reset or repeat. That's it. That's the question. That's the line in the sand. Every day, every hour, every moment, you are casting a vote for who you're becoming. And the truth? Most people vote for the old self because it's easier. The warning that you can't ignore, I know what it's like to repeat. To sit in the dark at 3 a.m. wondering if you'll ever get out of this loop or stay stuck forever. I also know what it's like to reset, to wake up with clarity, to speak with conviction, to walk into a room and know you've already won the battle before it started. That's not hype. That's rhythm. That's real. That's real faith in myself and in yourself. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. And this time, you're doing it on purpose. No more hoping someone saves you. No more giving the old you one more damn vote. No more apologizing for wanting to live free while so many people choose to live in chains. You don't need a reason to reset. You just need to be done repeating. The loop you've been fighting. Drugs, alcohol, porn, scrolling, drama, chaos. It all comes in different forms, but it's the same loop. Short-term escape, followed by the crash, followed by shame, followed by lies, followed by repeat. And that loop doesn't care who you are. It only cares that you're tired enough to crawl back. Imagine another way. Picture this. Waking up clear-headed, walking into the room like you own it. Joy that isn't tied to a bottle or a transaction or a fantasy. Confidence that doesn't need approval because it's who you are. Discipline that isn't for show. It's your new normal. And this isn't a fantasy. This is rhythm. And rhythm is built with decisions, not emotions. Here's the formula that works. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Commitment locks it in. And rhythm makes it automatic. You don't need hype. You need structure, strategy, momentum, and you can start today. So here's the 7-day challenge. Again, you're not doing this forever, just for the next 7 days. Your morning anchor, speak who you're becoming. Your midday reset, interrupt the drift. Evening ownership, write down your wins. And pick one of these power statements. I've already decided. The old me doesn't speak today. This ground is mine now. I reset because I refuse to repeat. This is the warrior's choice. Let me be clear. Survivors blame, warriors own. Survivors say, I wish it wasn't this hard. Warriors say, I'll fight alone if I have to, but I will not stop. You are not a statistic. You are not your past. You are not in recovery for the rest of your life like it's a prison sentence. You are a warrior rebuilding from the fire on purpose. If you're ready to lock this in, then let's go all in. Not because I said so, but because you've had enough of the lie. If you're ready to build a system so solid that relapse feels foreign, if you want peace that multiplies, if you want structure that outlasts the storm, then take the next step. Send me a message. Start a 13-week program with me. Commit, not to me, but to yourself. Or keep repeating. Try the meetings again. Try the white knuckling. Try the motivational videos and the YouTube loops. But when you hit the wall again, when you're tired of circling the drain in silence, I'll still be here. And I'll still be saying the same thing. Reset or repeat. You decide. The day you take your life back isn't the day you feel strong. It's the day you stop giving the old you one more damn vote. That day could be today. So choose now. Drift or discipline. Excuses or execution. Relapse or rebirth. And whatever you do next, stay sharp. Stay grounded. Stay reset. Because this time, you're not just surviving. You're building a life so strong, relapse won't even recognize you. So let's go.